Welcome. Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That's me. The babbler. That's me. On another late night with I on some revolutionary highs. We're going to see where this is going to go at this time. So I'm getting ready to sit my ass down because I keep getting up. So I'm lighting some Palo Santos. And I welcome all who join for whatever reason that brings you here. May evolution serve you quantumly and dope as fudge, because it's time to just unify and harmonize and put down the fight, put down the defense, stop taking offense, and to really allow yourself the opportunity to experience abundance, prosperity, infinitely beyond measure, in so many multi-dimensional levelings of layerings of understandings, overstandings that just be commanding things. As you vibing in your mind, body, heart, and soul, delicious alchemy. Master alchemists be the we, who be the breed of seed that be needed up in here to shift a whole bunch of energies into a new paradigm of alignment, of authenticity that just cannot be faked, fabricated, duplicated, manufactured. Welcome. It's exciting. It's exciting to show up for yourself. And need not a reason. Hi, beautiful souls. Hugs. Part of understanding, overstanding, even the dynamics of my hyper awareness to a lot of things, right? Many of you are hyper aware, and this could be labeled, this could be identified in many different spectrums of definitions, labelings, understandings. It's just a matter of where you are in your own understanding about what you are conscious about, and in many ways more so than others, and how heightenedly aware and in tune you are to the energies within you, without you, all around you, from different spans of direction, space, generation, and dimension, and time, to be all bombarded all at the same time. And it's just like, okay. I really love this space that is becoming for my own channel. that has been a discovery and revolution for me too. Part of my journey has been guidance, divinely led, guided, and protected, right? Stand your ground, know your post, right? Right. Ooh. Right. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I was supposed to come back. I wasn't even supposed to go start right in, because if you can hear the water running in the background, one of my Shiva, just Shiva or Diva, right? Shiva or Diva is the only one that refuses to not drink out of the waterfall that they all have. That's a fountain. That's pretty dope for them to drink out of. She prefers the faucet to drink. So give me 1 second. Hi. So some time has passed. So welcome back. Either way, I wrote some things down just because I didn't want to lose sight of, the messages. We are it's hyper aware. I love, thank you so much for hyper awareness. Hyper, like, for those that do connect with me on a spiritual level, where you understand, and like comprehend even my speed of like layering of delivery of how I speak and speech and the colorful language that I use and the babbling that I do that can go off topic too. But yeah, it's all part of it too, because growing requires one to commit to learning. And it requires us to choose that truly for ourselves. That went off somewhere else too. Welcome. Enchantress the Babbler is I. Welcome. There's so many factors that can go into anything and everything. And those that do connect with me on in an evolutionary way, despite being triggered by me silently, whether you communicate that to me or not, or whatever the case may be, whatever is my role in your life, if I'm in your life or anything like that, or you just come across this channel or whatever, and something resonates, clicks, and or triggers, and stuff like that. And I realize that many that do connect with me on an evolutionary scale, yeah, the triggers for others too. And I don't like to use that word because my understanding of trigger is so different now that I don't look at trigger the same anymore. Which brings me back to even like the quote I was thinking prior to hitting record about you can't change the reality of something. You have to shift your perspective, and that requires you to grow through maybe uncomfortable territory or it forces you to compromise. It forces you to surrender to some unknown, what's the word I'm looking for? Like unknown variable that comes in and can just like create another infinite potential of a possibility to occur. You know what I'm saying? And so many factors play into each and every one of our developments. And that's why, like, you know, on this channel, that I create, right? Evolutionary content, like code activation, that whether you consciously receive or not, there's mana here for you and all of you, and you eat the fucking mana, eat the fucking mana, eat the fucking mana. Even though I gotta eat the mana, you know? Yeah, well, no one's exempt from evolution, but your speed, I guess, is entirely up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, how many times must one learn the same lesson until they get it? And, you know, learn lesson equates to changed behavior. And oftentimes, like, you know, even in our development now, like the challenge becomes operating from the consciously grown to place that you have worked on to get to in the same environment, right? So it's like, how do you heal in the environment that which made you sick, right? And so oftentimes it's hard, it's challenging to see the blockage or the actual footage like there before you, like as intuitive as you can be and as psychic as you can be and as many cards as you can pull and all this and how many spirits you tap into and channel and all this kind of stuff. Your evolution is your evolution. No matter what you're tapped into, when it comes to your own development in this human cycle of 3D perceived reality of an experience, we are emotionally biased all the way. And so when it comes to determining the best possible sites for ourselves, we're not always the brightest bulbs or the brightest crayon or the brightest tool in the toolbox when it comes to applying the wisdom that we so give so generously to everyone and see so clearly to ourselves. We're not exempt from learning too. Although it might appear that we learn much faster than others, but we know the real deal. It took 100 times two, 1,000,001 deaths, a fucking major transformation of all that shit you just deal with behind the scenes. While people outwardly just complain every day about their lives, you ate shit no one knew nothing about, right? And so it's like you come to this space of evolution that you worked on. I really am. I finally learned how to get pissed off for myself in regards to the injustices that I was feeling or experiencing from people that just hate on me for no motherfucking reason, except that they don't like themselves, right? And finally, like, becoming intolerable of the silent shade, right? Like, but it was a buildup of that kind of development and standing in my position of knowing, right? Like acting in that wisdom, because the reality may not have changed, but my consciousness has, and so that's intangible. And we're conditioned, no matter what tax bracket you come from, what state you come from, what country, and all this kind of stuff, we're conditioned. We're conditioned no matter our motherfucking environment, even if we have religious practice and faith taught to us. Faith is taught to us from a society that only believes that which what they see. So it's like a walking fucking contradiction. Do you really see what I mean? Like when you talk about which way did they go, George? Faith in that which is unseen to believe. But telling me a reality that the only truth is in this reality is that which can be touched, seen by all, accepted by the all. But this is not about that. I was just saying. But there's a point to this. I guess this is just a late night babble. Haven't done one of those in a while. Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for those of you that are here, tuning in, tapping in, turning on. May you enjoy the manna. May you receive it. May you transform your own self through this portal of whatever it is for you that it needs to be for you in your evolution. It is healthy, wealthy, stealthy, magnificent, quantum, prosperous, abundant, in every kind of dynamic, wonderful, beautiful way that serves you best. Eat the fucking manna. You know what I mean? Right. What was I saying? Oh yeah, thank you to those of you that do support and meet me on different platforms too, and participate or contact me or send me gifts or send me messages. And I know I stuck on the like DMs for like the Insta, and that comes with for reasons, okay? But I do get emails. Oh, I do get emails and other stuff from you and stuff that I do see in the public commenting, and so that's sweet and that's nice. And thank you for the new subscribers too. Yeah, so that was just that little interlude of hi there, hi. I'm real like you. When we're going through some, major shifts and transformations and evolutions too, and as peaceful as we seek to be, it's a lot that we be handling, you know what I mean? And so to come to a place of like peace and less anxiety over being so hyper aware, tapped in, turned on, tuned in, the ability to be able to travel through dimensional space, it's revolutionary. For those that can see beyond that which is shown, you don't need to toot no horn for the no, you know? Anyways, that was off the radar. Okay. What was I saying? All of that. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me move some. Okay. See stuff. If you are a part of Intensely Babbler, then you understand on a whole multi-dimensional level in quantum land that my name is Enchantress the Babbler for a reason. And so, yeah, channel be me, all nice and free, but then when the human taps back in and it wants to speak, and it's like, huh, what was anybody saying? Like you take a blackout, right? But part of my development these last like decades has been no longer tapping out in observer mode. Like, one of the things that a lot of children who come from trauma can, if you were to sit with them and have them explain, if you were going to go down that healing path of a shadow dark way of walking them through whatever abuse they endured and how they survived it through their ability to travel and go somewhere else, even though they physically were there. That's how they survived, right? And so it's similar to that aspect, dynamic of thought, just for you to have a visualization of what I'm trying to convey so that you can articulate for yourself wherever you are and understanding, right? It's the same thing with like operating from our higher self or channel divine, right? Right, I am a conduit for divine channeling, which means that the human, in, if you want to speak poetically, surrenders to the experience of flow. That is a dynamic glow. That she's not responsible. She doesn't even know. She just allows for the flow to go and speak and be whatever it needs to be for the time that it needs, right? And she allows the stream. Ah, yes, it's poetry, sweet. For the divine speaks within she, and she activates within this shrine, this well divine that has things to share, right? And so most times when people are channels in that kind of degree, right, you're most likely also reserved and shy to a certain degree. Even if you can be social, even if you can be, you are the star. Everywhere you go, everyone sees you. You stand the fuck out, even in a crowd. You go to a concert, no matter where you're seated, the person you're going to see sees you, no matter who. That type of appeal, of stargasmic attention and appeal, like even when people try to ignore you or snub you or pretend, you are so hyper aware of their energy towards you that imagine never being explained the dynamics of this understanding of this whole cultivation of experience that has brought you to the alchemy of understanding the dynamics of what has taken place. But when you're going through it and you're young and and nobody's telling you this shit, right? And you gotta like process all these energies that you're hyper the fuck aware of. And then you have many dynamics of early childhood development of some people that unfortunately had to deal with an alternate route where they were taken to psychiatrists or doctors or whatever the case may be and given prescription medications to balance out their whatever labeling system they were given or diagnosis of a psychosis that they were given for being so hyper aware because a lot of the times it goes unchecked, the hyper awareness can be turned into like self experience with everything. So instead of being hyper aware and I see where that's coming from and I'm just tapped in, turned on, tuned in, I don't need to be a part of it. I'm just aware, right? It soothes the unknown side of not trying to figure it out for yourself and instead just tapping into the anxiety of all the feeling. And when you're young, when I was young, like I had nervous habits that I think about like now and upon reflection and introspection and how I handled certain such uncomfortable situations and settings, especially because even though as you know reserved and private as me, like spotlight has been me for a few things. And so like I've had to do things that have been very uncomfortable and um and I had to perform, right? And so many of us have to perform. And so the intangible part of us that is hyper and aware can sometimes be put on the back burner in many degrees. And depending on your evolution and your experience and your dive into your own hive and understanding, overstanding is going to be different for freaking everybody. I I just don't know how to turn it off. So for me, it's just infinite. Like once something new comes into consciousness, something more, like something else, and something, it just doesn't stop. So I like to understand. I knew from young that was part of my purpose, was helping others understand. I knew that. I knew that for a long ass fucking time. I just didn't know in what, like, so school makes you focus on career and all this kind of stuff. I just couldn't see the career path. I was just like, no, that's not it. This is why I changed my major so many freaking million times. I took so many different, oh my gosh, I took so much schooling for so many different things. And the only reason why I stuck to the massage therapy, occupational therapy was because of this, because of my already up until that point life experience of so many different schoolings and majors and all this kind of stuff and all this kind of whatever. This was the first time, because I've always been like humanitarian and medical in some kind of degree, shape, or form. Because originally, like when I graduated out of high school, I was going for pre-med. Like I wanted pre-med. Like I wanted to do pediatrician. I wanted to do that, and then that just wasn't that. I'm glad that was not for me. Like that's not the route, and but because like whatever, and then even with the psychology, like when I was doing when I changed it to psychology, you would think that would be right up my fudging alley. And I was thinking of infusing astrology with psychology and doing astral psychology and all this kind of stuff. But I was so like I just couldn't get over the textbook Western side to diagnosis and understanding. I'm like, what? And like I was mad in class. Like I was just mad at what I had to um, agree to, pretty much, or accept. Not so much agree, but accept to some kind of degree or way. And I was just like, I'm not going to be able to I can't do this. Like I just can't. Right. And so the reason why when I attended New York College of Health Professions, what I love about it was one, it's very spiritual atmosphere, which was another, at that time, another awakening for me when I started that school all those years ago. That was another, like, 1,000, a million and one freaking awakening, but it was another, like, tower hit, like, catastrophe. Wonderful time, because it was an awakening, evolutionary time at the same time, and there was so much going on in my life, as always, right? And but what it was that allowed me to take in their program was that they were the first fucking school that I had encountered that applied both Western and Eastern practice in their methodologies. And I was like, yes, yes, I accept. Because you have to learn the Western practicalities to to our whole entire neurological body systems and stuff like that. Like, you have to know what you're fucking doing, like, period. And that's part of the Western side, even though Eastern side goes into, like, whatever the dynamics, but Eastern touches that which is not typically looked into in the Western practice. Like, if you go to an Eastern practitioner, like, you know, medicine versus uh, Western practitioner, which is the dominant in our society. Most of us, most people, like, when you sign up for a health plan and those kinds of, you're seeing a Western practitioner doctor. Okay, it's a whole other different ballgame. And part of my argument, like, when I was studying and stuff like that at school, is you're leaving out a whole other reality of world that does exist for me. So how do I leave that out and only help to a certain point and extent based off of the indoctrinated system that I have to abide by if I'm going to practice this in this realm of existence? And so, although I could be like a brainiac in certain kind of ways, like, because, like, I like learning. I do. But don't quote me either, because I'm curly. And just as quickly as I could learn something, I could quickly forget it and then have to relearn that shit again. you know, I'm the human in this department, right? And whatever. So, other thing. Oh, I was saying a whole bunch of stuff. Right, the school. So, yeah, so I love that they use Eastern mythologies, which is, Asian bodywork and practices and belief systems, and, learning the different meridians in the body and all these different other kind of alternative healing practices was right up my alley. And so I did phenomenally well. Because I found something I was passionate about, because I agreed with what I was learning, and so it became very easy. Easy, right? When you love something, that's the beauty. That's like so. Go to a time where you loved doing something that you were doing. Don't think so far back. I hope you don't have to. I hope you can go to a yesterday or to a 20 minutes ago, or to 5 hours ago. I know it's a late night for me over here. I'm like, okay, people could be sleeping. And so a few hours ago, I had, this nice moment, right? See, hyper awareness. But seriously, okay, hold up. Go back to a moment, whenever that moment was, that you experienced having a good time doing something that you love to do, no matter how minuscule you think it is, how insignificant you think it is, no matter what it is. Even if you say, I don't know, I've really enjoyed that. That was something that you wanted. Okay, that is wonderful. It's not so much of what you did, is that I want you to acknowledge that there are things that you have experienced in this realm of existence that was joyful for you. And so, in trying or challenging times, one of the most challenging things can be to hone in on an energy that is opposing your reality, right? Because you have learned and you are growing and you're learning through your experience, but it doesn't make you exempt from having to go through the experience, right? So it's easy to backslide sometimes into old habits die hard sometimes when, let's say, you've been going at it for 2 weeks straight, and then on the third week you just burst and go smoke a cigarette, or freaking like cheat on your diet, or cheat on your spouse, or you get what I mean? Like, you have this fuck up moment or down moment that you don't have to perceive that way. But like, anyways, I'm going like way off a lot of stuff, and I'm just like really because of the topic. Okay, I just want you to understand that hyper awareness topic is very hyperly aware for me right now, and there's a lot of things that I'm trying to see all at once. Why is this something? I'm figuring it out too. So, this is good practice for me in articulation as well, because, you know, we're all pushed to do what we're called to do, right? But okay, so go to a time of doing something that you actually love. Like, for instance, okay, earlier I was dancing today. I love to dance. Okay, let me think about it. It's not a strong enough moment for me to hone in on. Okay, let me go to a stronger moment of when I was really doing something that I enjoyed. Earlier, I was recording a YouTube video. I really thoroughly enjoy doing that too when I get the opportunity, because a lot of the times I want to record more, but I'm busy. And then by the time I get to where I'm like, I need me time, because I take care of me too. I need a rest. I need to rejuvenate, recuperate, recalibrate, whatever the case may be. But I do enjoy making these now, which brings me joy, because if you go back to my earlier videos when I first started recording, I was fighting spirit. I was like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather write. I'm a writer. Leave me to my writing, and I'll be happy doing my blog, and and writing books, and and creating memes, or like doing like arty farty kind of things, like use my hands for everything. But I didn't enjoy it, but I knew that this was serving something greater, and that I was also working on me, and that this is going to help break these invisible chains. I think that's even the title or the name I called my first video, Breaking Up These Invisible Chains. Like, poetry be me. And so I said a poem, and I introduced myself on to YouTube that way. I don't know, like, poetry be my expression, and it's my natural tool, like, where I go to, and I naturally speak that way too. You know what I'm saying? So, but go to these joyful moments, and if you need to, write the mofos down, so that when you're having a challenging time, you have this piece of paper recalling to you all these joyful moments of these things that you get to do, that you manifest and grateful for. because you are motherfucking abundant and blessed, blessing up in every kind of way, and that you're here to lead. Step into your leadership, share your message, inspire and empower others, right? You're here to lead, right? So it's like going back to that quote, you can't change the reality of something, you gotta shift your perspective. And so part of like what I am loving about learning about my channel too, because going back to see, everything goes back to like Ouroboros style, like right. What was I gonna say? I don't edit. I don't do anything fancy. I don't. This is straight. It's just dark. I like it like this. So it's me. I might pause it a few times, but this was part of it for me, coming undone and just allowing myself to just do this part that I've resisted for so long. And so it's funny, being consciously aware of these things and being asked to participate, view, experience, and surrender, dude. Okay. Support it. Ask for help. Get more rest. Nurture yourself. Right? Yeah. So, like, going back into that quote setting, you can't change the reality of something, you change your perception, right? And how do you heal in the environment that which made you sick, right? And all the work that you're doing that's evolutionary, you are doing so much wonderful things for yourself, for your health, for your wealth, for yourself, for like generational building, okay? Then you have some compassion towards you. It's one of the challenges here too of softening our energy toward ourselves and releasing all disappointments, all shame, all aggravation, all anger, all blame, realizing it doesn't serve, it just hits a nerve, knowing that you are divinely led, guided, and protected and powerful, and you're learning this in everything that you're doing. And you're awakening to the dopeness of evolution that is you. You're the example of evolution living. So live, right? But okay, so after I hit pause, I woosawed and I wrote something down, which is kind of like, and we'll dive into it a little bit more. But going back into the quote of, if you can't change the reality of something, shift your perspective. And so many of you constantly doing the work, right? I don't need to superficially graze over that part of the experience, because that part is very important because you're doing the work. But there's more work to be done. And there's a shift here happening. And I hear, don't miss the boat, don't miss the boat, don't miss the boat, don't miss the boat. Okay? Don't miss the boat in this shift. Okay? This is a reminder You are doing the work. And with all the work that you are doing, it is worthy of every bit of recognition, admiration. Everyone should acknowledge the evolutionary being that you are. And I'm sorry if people have made you feel anything less than deserving. May healing be received now in ways that uplift you always. And part of, I don't like to use the word test either, right? Well, this is a test, but it's not. But it is, but it's not. It depends on where you are and how you want to perceive it. Whatever makes it fun for you, whatever makes it righteous for you, whatever brings you to the space of willpower to get done that which you must without excuse nor complaint. You are constantly working and you are constantly evolutionizing, and the people around you might not be as fast as you. That's okay. You're the leader. And I know maybe even in certain realities of experiences, it may not feel like you're the captain of the ship. And if you don't feel like you are, here's your reminder to take back your fucking power. And go to the root of your language, your linguistics, and figure out what the fuck you keep saying over and over and thinking over and over and over again that's making you feel this over and over again to think such ways about your condition that do not serve your highest good. Okay? So you are constantly growing in an environment that is not as fast as you. So it could become discouraging to the trooper that you are to feel like you're still not receiving all the fruits of your labor, or still something is not quite perfect. Not quite there yet. Right? But you know it's coming, and you have that faith, and you have that belief, and you know. But reality might tell you differently. Here's what I wrote down. Reminder. With every new level up, your reality may not change. But, yeah, there's a fucking but. There's a big ass fucking butt up in here. Okay? And I wanna rewind. Because I still feel like some of you heard what the fuck I said and still don't know what the fuck what I'm referencing, or how it's not registering. And I know that that's not my job or my responsibility for your interpretation. This is entertainment for your entertainment and for evolutionary purposes in every kind of degree or decree. But you are accountable and responsible for your own motherfucking self, choices, and actions. And so therefore, I got nothing to do with me, right? Okay, just clearing the air in that department. Right? I did want to give more examples so we can all be on our own pages, but with understanding towards this evolutionary sage guidance that if you receive, eat the fucking manna, eat the fucking manna, eat the fucking manna, and allow it to grow with you, it will be very helpful to you at this moment of time that is important. It's important because you might be getting triggered a little extra at this time, even if everything is fine. Certain things just come to the surface, right? And we are hyper aware and we are hyper present. And there's a lot of shit going on that we are hyper present and aware about. There's a lot on all of our plates. That's why we should value what each of us have to bring. Because none of us know everything. Most of us know nothing. Once my eyes get unwatery, I'll read the fucking quote again and give more examples so that this could sink in. That's my Pisces woman. And now my Aquarius woman comes in with its intellect, its sword, its truth, and less emotion. Doesn't mean they don't have emotion. It's the misconception with air signs that because they could be so cool and nonchalant and airy, that they don't have fucking feelings. What? You've met some twisted ass air signs. That mofo have feelings, and that's why they became the way they did. And their feelings was hurt. But either way, they got feelings. Everybody got feelings, okay? It's just learning the language of elements that we each have, that is individualized and unique to our own systems that are unique and not like anyone else. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, this quote, right? That I was writing. So it's like being tested. Like it's like going through a trial, a long trial. That's just like, oh, isn't the only because I said trial and I heard it. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, like there's a trial, right? And it's like long and grueling and just like this process of dragging out all the detailings of instances and experiences from like before, right? Into the now, right? And having had the time and the experience. So like let's say this is like again, I'm not following the trial to know things about it, but I have come across things that are said and whatever that I can get a gist of the public viewing and like I can understand a little bit of it, right? So, but we're just gonna go for superficial purposes only, right? It's like this. It's like of the two, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Let's say she's the narcissist and he's the victim, right? Right, let's go on. I'm not putting light. I'm just trying to be as superficial and general as can be, but I'm using an example that's in the public thing. Okay. And before they got to this trial, they've already been broken up. Okay? They've already been broken up. They've already not been together. And already time has passed since all of this occurrence that has taken place. And so now each of them come to the finally the trials here after much time has already taken place and passed. So let's say that Johnny Depp, during that time that before the trial, he met with every shadow. He healed every hurt. He forgave. He found peace. He could sleep at night. He's not at war with himself, right? And even though he has to go through this trial, he's at peace because he knows his stance, he knows his place, he knows his position, and he's not a victim. He's not playing the victim card either. He's had time to find his perspective, his place, his role in it, like from the most healthiest, wealthiest, stealthiest of perceptions, perspectives. And then let's say she did not, right? She's worried about this trial because a lot is riding on it because she may have told some lies that are gonna be revealed if she doesn't cover herself. So through the whole time that they have been like apart and waiting for this trial, he found healing and peace, and she found more anxiety and more fuck shit she gotta go through to clear her karma cycle if she started the shit that shouldn't have been some shit. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you eat what you dished. You know what I'm saying? So now the trial's here. So how do you heal in the environment that which made you sick, right? And now you're being brought back to that place. So this could be triggering to the person that has these last couple months, let's say, had a lot of healing and a lot of, you know what that feels like. I don't want to like highlight his just because he's in the fucking media, but just imagine like the depth of that kind of pain and cycle and torture and abuse and healing and memory and traumatic response and trauma bondings and just like craziness, right? So now you gotta be in the same room with this person again. You gotta hear their nonsense again. You gotta sit through this shit again. So you've already prepped yourself for all this kind of stuff, or what you're gonna deal with, what you're gonna see, what could have been a possibility, just so that you can have your composure, your place. You're not gonna be bothered. You already know your stance, even though you're gonna hear this, and it's gonna come up and it's gonna bring up raw emotion that hasn't been, addressed between, like, because we're doing this, like, you know what I mean? Like all this kind of stuff. So this is a reminder. With every new level up, reality may not have changed for you. So clearly, like let's say for Johnny, remember's still the same. You still gotta go through this shit, like this relentless battle case, like just you throw down and like just like put your tail between your legs and just be real and like just end this shit. But nah, you want to go through this whole fucking ordeal and do this whole like shebang and be all theatrical about it and all that kind of stuff. And fine, right? So reminder, right? New level ups may not change the reality, but here's the but Johnny's fork in the road. He can succumb to the energies that are here to trigger him for real, because they want to bring him back into that energy, vibration, and frequency that they can only meet him on if he brings himself there and allows, right? Or If you can't change reality, something change and shift your perspective, right? So a reminder, a new level up may not change reality, but it must change your act. That is your behavior. What? So that's like, if you're doing that work on yourself, evolutionary and all this kind of stuff, but you still complain. Every day you find something to complain about or to be upset about or to be, pissy about or to throw down about and all this kind of stuff. And we already know, because I'm sharing, if I'm saying this and this applies to you, it's just an example, but whatever the case may be, if the shoe fits where, like, you know what I mean, address it so that you can heal it and deal with it and feel it so that you can go through and rise and get to the other side. That is what you really like. You know what I mean? So, um, so you already know, especially if you're about your evolutionary journey, you know you shouldn't be complaining. And it has nothing to do about righteousness, complaining, and you're finally in your stance and your power. So it's like many of this collective, you've been in your powerhouse zone. Pull your foot down. Speaking your piece, knowing your stance, getting clarity, cutting off what needs to be cut off, right? Cutting off, right? Cutting off what needs to be cutting off, getting into your flow, going into your grow, because you're getting into your no, right? But don't lose sight, even just a reminder that reality may not be changed or or where you are in evolution. And evolution as within exudes on out, so it happens first in here before it can really show and breed and seed out there. It takes consistency and this traction and this willpower, right? And this dedication, this leadership from you, right? This step into your leadership, share your message, inspire and empower others, right? Patience, pause before you take action, trust that divine timing is at work, be patient and play whilst you wait, right? So it's like, if you can't change the reality, so like let's say you're looking for love, and you're just sick of being single, and you have every right to want and desire a relationship, but you're still dissatisfied with life because you don't have one. That needs to be healed, right? What's on the other side of fear? You have to surrender and let go of control, right? Release and surrender to the outcome that you think you should be, right? Choosing your battles wisely, right? Showing up for yourself, understanding your position, and feeling so unified and harmonized within your own being that you are now choosing for yourself how you're going to act, because that is your behavior, which is creating an outcome that you are consciously being responsible for creating. If you are a conscious, awakened creator, creating, especially if you're here, I would assume you are. And if you're here for other reasons, subconscious roots that don't pollute, they are evolutionary tools for you. And I'm grateful for that too. You know? And so it's at this point of challenge where it might be tough. You might even be battling your own mental, like battling paranoia due to your trauma like life experience versus intuition. And that is tricky. That creates the hyper awareness within you to be so hyper aware and alert, on high alert. And that's a stressful place to be in energy, whether you express it out loud or not. And so it's like, okay, you are the shift, you are the change, you are the hyper aware leading the way. Take center stage. Write your own play. The trumpet. Yeah. So, I'm inner resisting because I know what I'm supposed to be saying next and I'm not. It's nothing bad or it's nothing, it's just sharing. It's just sharing more than I'm comfortable with sharing. And that's my own hyper awareness of being conscious and present in where I sit right now. But I'm also aware of my channeling connectivity and my hyper awareness. Right? And so I was talking about that in the beginning, right? About the children from trauma bonding and stuff like that. Not trauma bonding, from trauma, that their ability to be able to tap out of what's happening. That's how they survive, right? They go to this place outside of their mind or physicalities, but another dimension, right? It's the same kind of concept in terms of our connection with our intuition, our higher self, our spirit guides, whatever you connect with, right? I'm not here to tell you what to connect with. You'll naturally connect with whatever God you connect with. You know what I'm saying? Whatever brings you there, brings you there. You know what I mean? It might shift, change, or grow, or evolve. I just say be open to the experience of expansion to know that as you start out with, you might not end up with. You know what I mean? Like it's just evolution and it's flow, it's growth. It's as you need to know, you know, flow, divine right timing, and all that kind of stuff. I think so. Shake it off. Sorry. Right, but okay. So, okay, so it's the same thing with our spiritual gifts because they're intangible, so to speak, but they're not. But because they're not part of our conditioned reality of acceptance, of understanding what tangibility and real is, it's often what, even if it drives a person in their life, it's often what's not visibly seen when you first see a person, right? Unless they express it in their clothes or whatever the case may be, like we're not going there, but I'm just saying, like, you don't see the dimension to the person's consciousness and awareness. Unless you're into all of that kind of stuff too, but typically most humans are not paying the fuck attention. I did my own little study of being present. Especially when you ask someone, well, how are you? And you're that small talk shit that I said I would never freaking do. But really just being present too, so that I can really be present and be there for people and really make sure that I am being present and not tapped out. You know what I mean? Which is kind of the message and that I'm meaning to bring about. But I'm doing my best. Because it's not the tangible dominant reality in our conditioned society, this intangible world of spirituality that one must find belief in and have faith on if they want to, if they're drawn to it, whatever the case may be, right? And it becomes this third, this other dimension of reality that's kind of in our mind's eye that escapes us. So I can give an example. When I tried to be a functioning, successful, ambitious single mother raising her daughter on her own in a cutthroat fashion industry world, a lot of the extrasensory hyper awareness that I have always and will always be a part of, it seems. I had to dismiss it in a indirect way. So my ability to see things when I was in the workplace, work office, if I saw something, I just shook it off and kept working and didn't even entertain it too much unless when it would become too where I couldn't, but still I dismissed it, right? Because it's the least dominating reality. So it's easier to dismiss, right? It's like someone hiding their love for you. It's easier to hide their love for you than to admit it, surrender to the experience, because it'll change everything. And those are so many different variables and factors that are unknown, right? And the person that might be typically in control of everything may not like that kind of possibility. They don't like to feel like they're not in control, right? So the point that I'm trying to really articulate in regards to even that aspect of just understanding the dormancy factor, many of our dormancy gifts that will keep on showing themselves to you as you continue to evolve and grow and flow and get to know. And the more you align, you're alchemized. This is an infinite journey, guys. It's never ending. You think that once you reach a certain plateau, unless you want to stay there, that is free will, that is choice, that is also a reality of acceptance that you must start learning to see, releasing in regards to any kind of hostilities or anger or resentment that you have towards anyone still here in the 3D, to realize that your argument towards their position is invalid because it's only your perception and stance of understanding from your perspective that is not the truth. And although you might be right, it's still not their truth nor their evolution. And for you to expect them to get your argument is to tire and drain yourself out and feed the beast that doesn't even really care enough at this moment in time to understand your position. And so they stay in theirs. That's the truth. And you realize that about certain people. It's like people that I realized this, like I tested it out too. Like, and it's not a test, it's just like I'm saying I tested it out, but that's not why I did it. I say these things. And then when you start making your own life experience observation keys, this is the scientist breed of documenting and just like, okay, I see, like, you know, human conditioning and just behavioral patterns and conditionings and acts and habits and how they can really create a lot of subconscious self-sabotaging that many people often don't see. And many times if you point it out or help them, depending on their evolution, depending on their leveling of kindness, depending on their harshness of reality, depending on their life experience, depending on so many different factors, some will receive you well. And even I've learned that even those that receive you well, they still it's a bitter pill to swallow, the evolution of help that you offer to them when you work with them on their shadows. Another thing, yeah, positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success. Enjoy your achievement celebration. But going back to the dimensional sight being offered here, it is part of understanding, like seeing all the different places to visit before coming to an assessment about anything. So it's not that, right? That's what I was saying. So it's not that I was testing these things out. It's just observation, right? Because I'm a solutionist. I am dramatic. Yeah, I'm an expressionist. I'm an artist. I find healing therapy in all my forms of artistic expression that I allow to express itself through me in whichever shape, form that I desire to express on. And I have many outlets. And it's exciting to really just like accept I don't have to choose not one motherfucking thing. I can do so many things. And that feels good. I'm an infinite being. You're an infinite being. You can do whatever the fuck you want, when you want, how you want, where you want, whenever you want, whenever you decide it for yourself that you want. Up to you. right. But I remembered and then I forgot. And then I forgot again. What happens here? Um, hold on. I was sitting here and I'm just like, and I hear like so many different things, and I'm just like, extract something. And I'm here to share that with you too. Like, especially if you are really tapped in, turned on, tuned in an evolutionist in every kind of way, and sensitive be your whole entire being and your upbringing or experience, depending, because we each come from different walks of life. um Part of your challenge is learning to accept your power after being disempowered. And so there are many habits and conditionings that can go unnoticed by all of us. And sometimes it'll take someone to point it out to help us to see. And that's the kind of manna, that is worthy for celebration, you know? And so there's been a lot of energies from like humans that have tested you. And because they may have been more boisterous or more, let's say, popular or well known or successful or older or, in a position of authority or whatever the case may be, that they are even here emasculated. So like, that's horrible, like, or just in a position in a position in life that may have not been the fairest to you in something, because you can have different parts of it, because again, like, I meet so many different walks of life, and not everybody's on a spiritual path journey and stuff, but I know when they're meeting me, they're in for a rude awakening of something in their lives, and then later, they're like, oh my god, you know what I mean? So I don't even know, I don't even want to say that anymore, you know what I mean? Because that has been like a life lesson for me about, when you think you're not judgmental about certain kind of assessments, to realize that, listen, this is infinite life. You're going to meet people from all walks of life, and people will surprise you, no matter how knowing or hip to the bullshit you are in regards to all this mundane nonsense that's just redundant and just like blah, right? It's like humans. And so fickle, pickle, dramatic, and all this kind of like got stuck in a hateful dynamic. And we're killing, I don't even like to use that word, I don't even know, but killing. See, like, it's like killing, like a killing of one's spirit has been this conditioning experience. Because as much as, even if you come from a religious background and all this kind of stuff, and God we trust and all this kind of stuff, in the reality that we live in, that has built our conditioning, our habits, our behaviors, our societal laws, and what's accepted and not, and all this kind of stuff, over time, this history in our lives that has been fed to us, It has dictated many of our perceptions, realities, family patterns, and our behaviors and things like that. And so as much as you want to say, oh, no, not me, we all have, especially when you are in the position of hyper awareness and you're activated to now do something about your consciousness, your life, your path, right? So when you become activated in that purpose, that divine purpose of living, you're constantly evolving, and different levels, different doubles, different experiences, different pathways for everybody. But, I like to go general and to the root. And then the detailing and the specifics, again, that could be one-on-one, work with me. But for these videos and stuff like that, I'm going to be as general as can be. So take it as it resonates. Don't make what doesn't fit. And, and apply your wisdom to the manna that is received here. You know what I mean? And if anything flies over your head, that's okay. It wasn't for you at this time. Come back to it. Or replay that back. Put in the discipline action. We're going back to the dynamic of understanding how easily we can push ourselves to the side, push our needs to the side, comply to the environment around us. And especially as hypersensitive, feeling, empathic kind of beings, right? Most times our, what we would call over-pleasing or, people-pleasing and stuff like that, even the fact of people-pleasing still shows the side of the nature of the person. Just look at the type of people and the choices and the forks in the roads that they make through trauma-like experiences or life experiences. Some people go the good path, some people go the bad path, right? Same household, same abuse. Both are victims. One becomes a doctor. One becomes a drug dealer. Again, I'm just going as superficial as can be. Okay. It's a matter of shifting your perspective during these challenging times that might be triggering to your emotional well-being, that might play with your mind a bit, because it's revealing to you truths that are waiting for you to be open to receive it. It's a matter of perspective and how you choose to embrace the next move. You could be hostile, you could be peaceful, you could be sad, you could be mad, you could be happy, you could be moody, right? So it's facing the reality that you're in at this moment in time, although it may not be exactly how you desire it to be. And it's congratulating yourself during this step up of and level up position and experience that you are consciously and present to and now in, that you're going in for your win and compassionate to your situation, you are, that you are loving yourself by far and being gentle with yourself during these transitionary, transformational times. And so, with this, you understand that you have coping mechanisms and behaviors and patterns that you are accustomed to just doing, especially if you're here. So it's like hearing people gossip about you, and this is like the 100th time this has happened. And you act like you don't hear it. And you take that in. Because you know the people that are saying it, and because you are the better fucking person. Yeah. It doesn't make you egoic to fucking note the truth. Sometimes the truth will feel like an attack to a person. Meanwhile, you're just describing or just telling them what it is. Oh, how can you be so negative? I'm saying what you did. Oh, how can you be so, you know, whatever. We're not going to go there. So it is your act and your behavior that's being called to the forefront in regards to whatever you're still disappointed about. You didn't know I was going to say that, right? So what is it that you're still not satisfied with, happy about, discontent with, that discourages your faith in some kind of way that you don't have to express this publicly, or if you're a lone wolf, you most likely have less than a handful of people you trust. You'd be like that. Ah, does some of you feel lonely? Ah, this battle of alone. Or you're dealing with challenging people who are pushing your buttons, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it is. Remember how far you have come. And that just because you've come this far doesn't mean everybody else has. But don't lose sight, don't lose hope, don't lack in faith, and don't become impatient, and don't complain, nor feel as though maybe it's not going to happen for you for real and you're dissatisfied for real because it's not happening for real. It's not happening because you're stuck somewhere. If you can't change the reality of something, shift your perspective of something. How would you like to see that which you feel disappointed by? Maybe it's love. Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your overall position, status, place. You have come so far in your evolution to not give yourself enough motherfucking credit for all that you do accomplish, succeed, and do have conquered and risen and slayed. And how phenomenal your presence here is needed, wanted, desired, and appreciated. So whatever is up here that's playing in the mind, even if you're being quiet about it at this motherfucking time, is revealing something else that you're avoiding, not seeing, or missing. It's different for everyone. So it's like going through the plagues of your mind. Do I trust my intuition, or is this my trauma response at this time? Do I believe this person? Is this person good for me? Or dealing with the parts of you that don't feel satisfied about what you have accomplished or don't feel accomplished in some kind of way. That mentality and that inner dialogue and that inner response system is what is the block. So, reminder, you have leveled up. You are the level up. You are this breed of seed, of star seed energy that is monumental and needed at this time. And during this new level up at this time, reality might be the fucking same as it appears on the 3D plane of existence. Nobody's changed. Nobody's evolved. My example hasn't provided like the results that I believe I should be receiving at this time, because you've been patient in a long time that's gone. But there still has always been this little block. So it's like being annoyed by the trigger because you're still pointing at the person triggering you or the thing triggering you and looking at that as the problem, or if that thing wasn't here, or that person wasn't here, or that person didn't say this, this wouldn't be coming up. Like, still not seeing that it's there, it's coming up for your healing, for your revealing, for your seeing, for your ability to shift your own reality by transforming your act, that is your behavior. So, and also, like, even on the other side, I have wrote, understanding your position and unifying within yourself, finding the harmony to choose your battles wisely at this time. Because there's some energy entering the vortex of influence that its specific energy is to disturb the potential energies that might not be fully confident in their mastering ability but are getting there. And so before they get there, let us send them a low blow, uppercut them at this time, to create that disappointment feeling. So it's like not getting the job promotion. You know, felt like, oh my God, this is the first time I put myself, like, I allowed myself to believe that that was going to be for me, and it didn't happen. And then getting that, like, disappointed feeling, right? And it's like, pause. Let us observe. We are hyper aware, wise in our rise. We're in full alchemized and we are aligned at this time. Let us look at this accurately for ourselves so that we might dissect and help our situation with healthy, wealthy, stealthy solutions that are going to be beneficial for our evolution. Right, right. So I pointed out intentionally the ability for, especially in early childhood, adolescence, for children to tap out. I used to have this huge fascination with dissociative identity disorders, DID, and so I read lots of textbooks on this. I read loads of books and based on true stories, articles, and all this kind of stuff of people who have um, been documented for having dissociative identity disorder, and there have been famous cases that have been shared and all this kind of stuff. And I found the actual dissociation part of it the most fascinating because it was relatable for me. Okay, and and since like young, I would really explore this universe of disassociation. And so in my observation, right, not that they're tests or anything like that, like what I was saying before, like in doing small chit chat with the human population, hey, how are you? And all this kind of stuff. And someone says it back. Most people are not listening. They're not even present. Now, whatever they're doing in their silence is going to be different for everybody. But most people are not present, right? That's just a keen observation and stuff like that, and being able to really, like, test it out. Right? Sometimes say the most like absurd things and nobody catches it. Right? It's just like, yep. And it's listening. Right? And so I bring this up because I want to highlight how familiar of a conditioning of an energy dissociating from our own natural abilities and gifts and abilities and all these kind of things. It has been in this life experience because of however we were raised or brought up. Even if we were brought up in a magical household that believed in certain kind of things and stuff like that, there was just always something very different about you that was not understood by others and oftentimes felt rejected in some kind of way. And so, you know, and so you adapt to your environment and you learn to operate like a robot, right? A shell of your own existence, an avatar, moved by whom, played by what, real to whom. Anyways, and so it's part of our conditioning to disassociate with many layerings and parts of ourselves that make us multidimensional. And so, even if you have been a long time on this awakening journey and path, and you've always been lit and all this kind of stuff, I'm not comparing, contrasting. I don't want to play ego here. I don't want to be, oh my God, no, I've been doing it for this long, and you've been doing it, no, for this long. Oh my God, and when I was 2, and people just want to start like fabricating, like, oh, again, that's just small sarky, because of the, like, again, we're all being triggered in our own ways to really identify the root of our annoyance or truth. That maybe because it's just like when you've been shushed for so long and you don't feel heard or whatever, or like so you like build up to speak up for yourself and whatever, and like how one responds to their life of dissociation is going to be different for every single one of us. I gave a little example of like my ability to see things and how in a fashion world environment I acted like I didn't see anything, although I saw things, right? Um, from the other side, because I see things, hear things, know things, right? And many of you do too. And so, like, sometimes I hear some people saying they're awakening now. They're having this new experience of awakening now. But, when they sit with me and explore with me and work with me, they realize, we get to time travel and they really see that they've always been, connected in some kind of way or whatever the case may be. And tapped in, turned on, tuned in their own kind of way, but how much they have disassociated based off of their conditioning and experience and whatever. It's going to be different for everybody. But it's important to bring this up, right? So because there's, I don't know what, I'm not going to pretend to know, but like if I can say there's something brewing, and I don't say that to build hysteria or incite fear. I'm not saying the brewing is bad, like, you hear, but there's energies all around, right? And we're hyper aware and sensitive and influenced by many things, whether we're conscious of it or not, right? And the more that we awaken to our abilities, gifts, and senses and sensories and all this kind of stuff, it's going to be different for everybody. What you can see, how you can see, where you can see, and understanding you're developing extra sensory abilities, right? So it's kind of like that in regards to changing your act, that is your behavior, in an energy or environment that is rather challenging for you to see positively or in a new way because you're so engulfed in it, right? So understanding from a visualization perspective of what you are doing when you ignore, disassociating from that which you feel or need to say or have yet to do. Um, that act, that is change, is what is needed at this time. Because while there's something going down, your energy is so needed. And it's so needed to be as healthy as it can possibly be in the right state of mind, creating that which is in your alchemy and not being triggered by the 3D perceived reality that may have not evolved as fast as you, but you know better too, and so you're not going to be triggered to act or do in a way that doesn't serve your greatest good, which is the greatest good for us all too. My twisted mind is like, what about for all the psychopaths and all the kind of like those guys? I'm not talking to you. It's for the good of all, like, those on that kind of journey that is just, evolutionary and helpful. And, I don't like to do good, bad. It's all a matter of, whatever semantics. But either way, a reminder that you might be leveling up in every kind of way, and the evolution around you might be slower to speed to the direction that you go, but continue to lead because you are the breed of seed that is needed at this time. And so don't lose sight of that which you are creating, and to be mindful of what you think, what you speak, and whom you surround yourself with. Going back to what I was saying even before about realizing and noting that, and that wasn't again a test or anything like that, but it was just, observation, because, I like to be solution based, right? I don't like you crying. Like, if you're gonna cry about something, make sure that you're not crying about the same thing twice, right? And if you are, what are you doing, right? So, with that being said, um, what was that being said? I should have not looked down on my phone. What was I saying? Right. Right. Yeah. So, like, being really mindful at this moment in time, even what you're listening to. Like, you could be working so great on, like, let's say your self-esteem, your relationship, um, your close intimate circle, let's say. You're working on your career, you're working on your projects, you're in your lane, you're minding your business, and all this kind of stuff. And everything is all peace, kumbaya, and you just, going within, you have everything you need, you get everything you want, you're working on all this kind of stuff. And then you have a family gathering to attend. And now these people, no, I don't want to use family. So a coworker has a birthday party celebration, right? And so you go with your coworker to celebrate their birthday, and it's a group of you. Now in this group, you're friends with the coworker, and not so much everybody else, but whatever. This is the coworker's birthday celebration. Now, one of those people that are there is heavily fighting with their significant partner, and they got insecurity issues galore. And it just so happened that their story, their romance story, is similar to yours, but yours has a, let's say, happily ever after much trial and tribulation. And theirs is where maybe you guys were like 10 years ago. And let's say this throws you off guard, and maybe you don't know. Right? And now you go home, and this energy that, let's say, you don't clear, you don't like do anything, like, you're not hyper aware of the energies out there and what's happening. And because you're relatable, energies linger and find themselves to their matching components in some kind of degree, shape, or form, and they can hang on, and cling on and all that kind of stuff. And then you go home and you have a fight. Mind you, let's say you haven't had a fight in months, and now you don't know where this came from, and you're like, oh my god, and all this kind of stuff. And then maybe, let's say, insecurity creeps in. Now you can look at it as a spiritual attack. This person sent this my way because they're going through that kind of fuck shit. I gotta be mindful of the energies that I surround myself with. Yeah, you should. But how are you gonna perceive, receive, learn, and grow from the situation instead of projecting out and just blaming? Like, you know what I mean? So the solution would be to be mindful of the company you keep in all arenas, and the times that you cannot control the whole entire, like, people you're with, then you remain hyper vigilant in your awareness to be mindful of the energies creeping in that maybe your intuition would alert you to if you opened the dormant door and allowed yourself to tap in, turn on, tune in. Anyways, like, there's a bunch of mixed crowds and different things I'm saying, and sometimes, I get lost and I won't complete what I'm saying until next video. That's why I'm intentionally the babbler. But either way, the big message is to change your act, because that is your behavior, and check yourself. If you're responding from the old way or from your new alchemized way, that is a behavior that you have yet to not get to know, because it's new. It's like moving to a new neighborhood and acting like your old neighborhood streets, like, in this new neighborhood that's way different. Always be yourself, but operate from your alchemized, mastery alchemized space, and not just your habit, behavioral, conditioning, and environment way. Alright? Okay, I'm gonna start getting out of here. But prosperity. A gift of money is on its way. Okay? A gift of money is on its way. Your income is increasing. Manage your finances with love. Yay! Celebration. A positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success. Enjoy your achievements. Magic. Make a wish. Believe in miracles. Magic surrounds you. I love that. Rebirth. Okay. All right. Reinvent yourself. Give life to your dreams. Create a new reality. Possibility. Raise your standards. Elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. Compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Forgiveness will set you free. See the light in yourself and others. Right? Any kind of battle with the mind or the intuition at this time, you're asked to step aside. You're asked to step aside and to allow yourself to meet the part of the paranoia that creeps up to speak. What is that voice attempting to say, convey, let you know what fear is coming up to the surface? And what trust do you truly have? And if you can't find your position to trust the situation or the outcome or the possibility or the what's going to happen here, because so many variables can come into play, and your trauma response is responding in some kind of what can feel like an inaccurate way, but your intuition does have something to say. And oftentimes we have to meet all sides of the spectrum of the coin in order to understand every position that we stand, so we can really finally learn our stance. So sometimes we have to meet the mad, the crazy, the 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 the, the part of us that is not in alchemy, that can trigger us, and really introduce it to ourselves so that we can transmute, transform that which is being presented that does not serve our greater good. So it's addressing pockets that have length in them. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Intuition. Listen to the whispers of your heart. Use divination tools to help you decide. Trust your intuition no matter what. And if you're unable to trust your intuition, make no moves. A lot of the times we act impulsively too, and we allow our fear to take over or our anxiety to win, and then we do self-sabotaging things that come out of behavioral patterns and conditionings that we're just accustomed to, and it's an easy go-to place. So the act would be now to not go to that place and to do what needs to be done by you that is different, that's going to be the shift needed to create the traction, to build the traction, to change your act, that is your behavior, and allow that to be your savior, saving grace. Right? Partnership. Teamwork will give you a better result. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Build up a talented support team. So trusting the energies that you're encountering at this time in your alchemized space, and to know that you can use the art of discernment, which has been part of your experience of learning, that you can trust at this time. So don't second guess yourself, question, or need approval by anybody else to agree with you about what it is that you assess. most of the times, because you're in your evolutionary best and you're different from all the rest, what you see others don't, and that's why you see what you see, because you are that shift, that change, that breed, that seed that clearly is here to shake that shit, transform that shit. You know, beloved, prepare for your life partner. Romance is returning to your relationship. Believe you are lovable. So for some of you too, it could be that whole love dynamic too. Love always fails me. Or believing that someone can't love you or choose you. That's what it is, choosing. You want someone to choose you. And so because other people are in their own evolutionary journey, that they too must learn to choose themselves, you're getting mad at them for not choosing you. They need to choose themselves first, the same way like you. Can you have a heart of compassion too, to see that from an empathetic layer of multidimensional systems that can be revolutionary if you just breathe and release? Do you get that? The same way you are being guided to choose and live and breathe for you, it's the same thing with others. I like close sleep. 2 more and then I'm gonna go. Okay? 1, 2. Rebirth, friendship. 2. Some of this could be with friendships too, like being all paranoid and like questioning every new person that comes up in here, like, no, you got brown eyes like my ex best friend. That's it. Never mind. I don't. We can't talk. You got brown eyes. You got curly hair. Oh, your name starts with an M. The last friend I had started with FM. Like, oh, you're into divination too? Oh, forget about it. I don't want no more witchcraft friends that fucking evil eye you and fucking go pick up graveyard dirt and fucking try to fucking kill you with a voodoo doll. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you're like, no, right? So it's like, I feel like a lot of the trauma like experiences of all these not so nice experiences can have your intuition and your paranoia about who is good for you and not, like, a little twisted. So to use this time to uplift you more, to travel into that trauma like experience that maybe got brushed under the carpet, the part of that trauma like experience that got ignored by you that must be addressed too. And that could be about like the choosing, being chosen, or rejection, or friendship. Seek out your soul family, surround yourself with positive people, spend more time socializing. Rebirth, reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality. So you're creating a new reality. Beautiful. So thank you so much. I know. So this is going to be another late night babble that is evolutionary and revolutionary in Eric way. Maybe eat the manna. Yeah, so there's going to be loads of information in the description box for you to learn more about and connect more with me. There's a master link that I will be sharing there too. You can also follow me on Instagram at Enchantress, ENCHANTRESSS, the one and only. You can also find me on TikTok, which is Utopian, WITCHYUTOPIAN. I am also beginning and starting a new tarot club workshop with all course materials provided, along with a printable tarot for you. For those that join too, there will be more workshop dates available too, for trying to accommodate different schedulings, different states, different time zones, different planets. In that kind of way. But in the meantime, witchyutopian.com has all the information that you need to sign up and have this wonderful, fun, oh my god, it's gonna be a 9-week awesome one-on-one kind of experience with me in a group kind of setting for those that do sign up and join and stuff like that for 9 weeks. 9 weeks. 9 weeks, once a week. Okay. And if you miss a workshop, it will be recorded, and because you are a part of it, you will receive the recording. Yeah, so got that going on. And then also the new series, secret code oracles, that you can submit your secret code oracle question. It's free. Your identity will always remain anonymous. I will share with you a public secret code oracle that will be used as your reference when I record your video answering your secret code oracle question. So that's been cool. I realized, because someone said something, but I did miss when I was giving a recap of the Secret Code Oracle episodes that I've done. I left one out the last time, so my apologies, Lysol. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I forgot to mention that you were episode 3, and episode 2 was episode 2 was Purple Rain and Lady in Red and Pancake. And episode 1 was Carrot Cake and Purple Rain. And then episode 4 was Lost and Found and Lady in Red. I don't know. Anywho, oh no, yeah, episode 3 was Lysol. Oh, anyways, it doesn't matter. Either way, those have been fun. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so just check out the description box for all the links that you need, all the information that you need. I will timestamp this eventually, but I'm gonna go get me some sleep. Oh my gosh, 421. Okay, 421, 421, 421, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Okay, 7, 7. Okay. Sweet dreams, divine alchemy to all of you. Thank you.